Turn heads and bring the hype with a custom hype chain from Lotwin. Perfect for youth sports, fantasy football, or just flexing your pride. Go to Lotwin.com, use the promo code TCCPOD for 10% off your order. That's Lotwin.com, promo code TCCPOD for 10% off. Get your custom hype chain and get hype with Lotwin.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly sports history for September 23rd, 2025. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of the podcast. As you can see, beautiful Lake Harmony, great weather. This is awesome. The cool weather is coming down to us soon, so stay tuned. But it is Tuesday, and as we do every Tuesday, it's time for a little positivity / motivation. Brought to you by the Clashing Conferences Sports Fan Network. Go to clashingconferences.com. See how you can join and get involved. Get your voice heard. This Day in Philly Sports History is a proud member of the Clashing Conferences Sports Fan Network. So go to clashingconferences.com. Join, come over, and have some fun. All right, so for today, we're going back to our old pal, Mark Manson. I get his weekly newsletter, and there's always something that I feel like I could use, and truthfully, something that I need sometimes. And today his quote is, "You're not afraid of failing. You're afraid of being seen failing." And just take a minute and think about that. And whether you want to admit it or not, if you're honest with yourself and you reflect, no matter what we say, we care about what other people think about us, whether it's how we look, what we do, how much money we make. There's always that in the back of your head. Some people it's worse than others, but we're all there. We all feel it. And I think as Philly sports fans too, I think one of the biggest lies we tell ourselves is nobody likes us and we don't care. We all care. We want to be liked. And whether or not it's, oh, we don't care if you hate us, it's on our minds. So I just feel like this was very appropriate. No matter what we say, we all care. But the truth is, most people aren't paying attention to you. Most people aren't consumed with what you're doing. And I think we have that skewed sense of reality sometimes. Sometimes our loudest critics, they're the ones that probably won't try what we're doing or are too afraid to do whatever it is we want to do. So why are we giving them so much time and energy? So essentially this week, the message is stop worrying, start doing, take risk, fail big, learn from it, and become better, because we talk a lot about learning from mistakes and having that growth mindset. So stop worrying about what others think and do what you need to do. Because remember, you're not afraid of failing. You're afraid of being seen failing. And that's just very profound to me. So as you go through your weeks, take that with you and don't worry about what the others say. Don't worry about the haters. Go out and do what you got to do. And that is Tuesday's motivation / positivity, brought to you by the Clashing Conferences Sports Fan Network and our old pal, Mark Manson. So stop worrying, start doing. All right. Phil's back in action tonight. Last 6 games of the regular season, they open up a 3-game set against the Marlins. The Dodgers are out in Arizona. We'll be watching that very closely, as well as the magic number stands at 2 for that bye. Christopher Sanchez on the mound tonight. Jesus Luzardo, and still to be determined for Thursday. Probably going to be some combination of Taiwan and Walker Buehler, but we'll have to see. But big thing is, magic number is 2. They could clinch that second seed tonight if everything goes right. So, Christopher, it's time to pitch like the ace that we all know you are. Bounce back, and let's end this thing tonight so we can kind of get everything set up and ready to go for the postseason. Trey Turner is about ready to start hitting off of live pitching. He stayed home during that West Coast trip and was able to get some work in. So that's why that bye is so key for the Phils. But Phils, Marlins tonight down at Citizens Bank Park. first of the last 6 games of the regular season. And then it's all aboard the Red October Express, baby. All right, some final news and notes from the Eagles game. Now they had some time to process some of it. I think one thing uh, I'm not hearing, because of everything else that happened, I'm not hearing too many people talk about this. But on that Rams final drive before Jordan Davis's block, Nick Sirianni called a timeout and kind of gave the Rams a chance to reset. And maybe he did address this and I missed it, but I'm not sure what that was all about. Like it wasn't like to ice the kicker; it was in the middle of that drive, so I'm not really sure what Nick was doing. But it ended up obviously working out. Um, and lots of talk too. And I didn't realize until I started talking to people that weren't at the game and heard how loud it was on TV. At the end of the first half, the crowd was on them a lot, and then you had the boos, and then you had like the sarcastic cheer, the first pass to AJ Brown. Uh, but the crowd was a little restless, and rightfully so, I feel. And like I said, I'm still not sure what happened, and it's something that Kyle and I are going to discuss on this week's Brotherly Birds breakdown. But I'm not sure what happened, whether it was Sirianni going to Petula, uh, Jalen Hurts going to Nick and Petula, or what happened, but something clicked. And I'd like to get more. Obviously, Nick in his press conference yesterday stuck up for Petula, said no, he was the one calling the plays. But I don't know, man. It's kind of one of those things. Something was, and I did see the shot of Jalen getting kind of animated after the first touchdown with Petula. So I'm anxious to see what comes of this and what goes. But whatever it was, continue to do it because it worked. I do think Lane Johnson being out did impact the run game a little bit. And then when they had Pryor in there, he was terrible. And then our old boy Fred Johnson came in and kind of stabilized the defensive line. So we'll see what happens. But cornerback two is still a problem. Both guys are hurt. I heard on the way up here and questionable for to even play. I don't know if that's Keely Ringo. I don't know if that is Asante Sam, somebody on the waiver wire, Asante Samuel Jr., but it definitely is not good at cornerback too. Especially when you see Isaiah Rodgers having the game he did for the Vikings the other day, 2 touchdowns, 2 forced fumbles. He would look nice back there, but we'll see what happens. Another stat I saw was the 12th straight Eagles home win, which is pretty impressive because that's the longest in Lincoln Financial Field history going back to the Andy Reid days. So, but it's kind of like we'll put the bow on that. Kyle and I will talk more about it this week on the Brotherly Birds breakdown. But just some things I'm kind of watching, and I've been watching quarterback too all season. So we'll see what happens with that. But that does lead to yesterday's question of the day. Who was the GOAT of the game? And 69% of you agreed with me that it was Jordan Davis. Lots of votes for Jalen, couple for AJ, but that was the Jordan Davis game. Anytime a big guy scores a touchdown like that, you're going to be the GOAT of the game. So shout out to you, Jordan, for being the GOAT of the game on a Sunday. All right, some quick housekeeping notes. Be sure to follow me on social media at Philly Jimbo. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jimbo_Mont, and continue to spread the word as we grow this thing. Like, subscribe, review, all that other good stuff to outsmart the algorithm. And don't forget, the Brotherly Birds breakdown will be out later this week. We'll recap the Rams game and get you ready for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then don't forget, too, if you are interested in a raffle ticket supporting the Philadelphia Sports Hall of Fame, $20, hit me up. You got a chance to win tickets to all Philly sports home games for a year. There's like a 70-inch TV in there. There's a trip to Philly spring training. So hit me up offline. $20 get you into that raffle for the fundraiser. But just think about that, the ticket aspect of that and how awesome that would be.
Whether you're coaching Little League, crushing your fantasy league, or just rolling up to a bachelor party like a Philly legend, Lotwin Custom Hype Chains bring the energy. Fully customizable, totally unforgettable, and guaranteed to turn you into the MVP of the moment. Great for teams, groomsmen, or anyone who wants to show off with some serious swagger, go to Lotwin.com, use the promo code TCCPOD, and get 10% off your own custom height chain. Lotwin, let's get hyped together.
September 23rd, and this was a big day in Philly boxing history, real Philly boxing history, not Rocky boxing history. But first, going back to 1926, 120,000 plus packed into the newly built Sesquicentennial Stadium, aka JFK Stadium, in a pounding rainstorm to watch Gene Tunney defeat Jack Dempsey by unanimous decision to win the heavyweight championship. This was one of the biggest marquee sporting events in the 1920s, but this happened, and a lot of people don't realize that fight happened at the old JFK Stadium. But it was Gene Tunney defeating Jack Dempsey by unanimous decision to win the heavyweight championship. And then fast forward 26 years later, 1952, it was Rocky Marciano knocking out Jersey Joe Walcott in the 13th round, once again at Municipal Stadium. Marciano, this was when he won the heavyweight championship. Everybody knows, famously, he retired undefeated as the champion, but he won the belt this day in 1952, beating Philly guy, South Jersey guy, but Jersey Joe Walcott. He would go on to defend the title 6 more times. It was a hard-fought match, and Marciano actually got knocked down in the first round and was losing on the judges' cards when he knocked out Jersey Joe Walcott. They would fight about 6 months later, where Marciano won again, and then that was it for Jersey Joe Walcott. But on this day, Rocky Marciano won the heavyweight championship in Philly, knocking out Jersey Joe Walcott in the 13th round. And insert your Coming to America joke now. He whooped Joe Louis's ass. All right. Fast forward to 1983. Phillies beat the Cardinals 6-2 out of Busch Stadium. Steve Carlton pitched 8 innings, struck out 12, allowed 2 runs to get his 300th career win. Became the 16th player in Major League Baseball history to win his 300th game. Still the all-time leader in wins for the Phillies. Then fast forward, we don't have to go too far. Just going back to last year, Kyle Schwarber and JT Realmuto homered. Aaron Nola pitched 6 innings, struck out 7, gave up 2 as the Phillies beat the Cubs to win the division. It was their 12th ever division win. First time since 2011. Unfortunately, we know how that turned out with the Mets series, but Phillies win the division on this day last year. Does lead to today's trivia question. Steve Carlton won his 300th game in 1983. Who led the Phillies in wins in 1983? Hit me up on the Back to the Future voice and text line, any of my social medias, but who led the Phillies in wins in 1983? And then finally today, our underappreciated and underrated Philly athlete is Simone Gagne, who played for the Flyers from 1999 to 2010, scored 535 points, 271 goals, 32 more in the playoffs. He is in the top 10 for Flyers goals all time. He was an all-rookie. Everybody remembers the game winner in that epic Boston series to get the Flyers to the Eastern Conference Finals. He's a 2-time All-Star, but just was a clutch player, often overshadowed by guys on his team. Everybody talks about Scotty Hartnell. Everybody talks about Claude Giroux. Simone Gagne kind of bridged a couple errors there and is often overlooked, but certainly underappreciated, certainly underrated. Top 10 in Flyers goals all time. So Simone Gagne is today's underappreciated and underrated Philly sports athlete. Don't forget the trivia question. Who led the Phillies in wins in 1983? On this day last year, Phils win the NL East for the 12th time in team history, first time since 2011. 1983, Steve Carlton gets win number 300. And then a big day in Philly boxing history as Rocky Marciano beat Jersey Joe Walcott to win the championship in 52 at JFK, or the old Municipal, I guess I should say. And then 26 years earlier, 120,000 people packed in to Municipal Stadium in a driving rainstorm to see Gene Tunney defeat Jack Dempsey to win the heavyweight crown. We'll have more on the Eagles. Phillies looking to clinch that 2 seed tonight. Let's go, Christopher. You got this. Back here from Lake Harmony tomorrow. Again, probably be a little bit later than when I normally am, but we will get it up. So stay tuned for that. But go Phils. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History for September 23rd, 2025. My name's Jim Montgomery. Go have yourselves a Tuesday. And remember, you're not afraid of failing. You're afraid of being seen failing. Stop worrying. Start doing. Go take control of your life. And who cares what the haters say? Until next time, I'll see you when I see you.